Welcome back to another trip report. Today we'll fly with Delta Airlines on their 757-200 from St. Maarten Airport to New York City JFK. Right now we're on Maho Beach, just south of runway 10 here at Princess Juliana, and we'll take a taxi cab to the terminal to get ready for our flight. In the terminal now at the Sky Priority check-in downstairs at Princess Juliana Airport. It's very busy in the late afternoon. Through security and immigration now waiting at the upper level of the departures area. Some traffic out on the field, including a United 737 MAX 8, JetBlue A321neo, Air France A330-200, and a KLM 7879 had just departed for Georgetown, Guyana. There's an American 738 headed to Miami out on the field too. Our flight will board from the remote gates. Our aircraft today is registered N542US, a 29.2-year-old 757-200 aircraft, originally delivered to Northwest Airlines in the late 1990s. This aircraft will take us on the 5-hour flight to St. Maarten this afternoon. And at this point in the journey, everything had been going smoothly. We had no delay on the outbound. Immigration had gone pretty quickly, security was fine, but as you'll see later in the video, it starts to fall apart pretty quickly on a departure out of St. Maarten, and the in-flight experience is just shocking. But anyways, here we are now at the lower gates, waiting for our flight to depart from gate B1. And here's the waiting area down by the lower gates. Most of the flights that depart from here are on American Airlines, Delta, or Spirit Airlines, and they leave from the remote gates just south of the regular gates, like where this United 737 MAX 8 is parked. This Air France A330-200 that you saw at the beginning of the video is now preparing for its departure back to Paris Charles de Gaulle this afternoon. It's about an 11-hour flight. Really hope to try this flight out soon at some point in the future. So boarding now from the front door of the 757-200. I realize now I probably should have used the rear door just because that's closer to my seat, but I was in zone 6 and I wanted a better shot of the aircraft. Really great views out on the ramp here at Princess Juliana. So here we are now in our seat 37F towards the rear of the 757-200 cabin. As you'll see, the entertainment screen is frozen, and that ended up not working for the entirety of the flight, as well as the Wi-Fi. And that's one thing that's just, it's unacceptable for an airline to not provide any in-flight entertainment. Not that I was utilizing it, but for the screen and the Wi-Fi to not work, that's just completely unacceptable for a flight that takes about 5 hours across the Atlantic up to New York City. Some good views on the ramp on the taxi out to runway 10 for our departure. So taking off now with the world-famous Maho Beach behind us, runway 10 departure from St. Maarten, facing towards the right side. Make a steep right bank off the departure in order to clear the hillside just to the north of the runway. And if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to help us reach 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year. That's our channel goal as of now. So, as I mentioned earlier, the in-flight entertainment screen did not work for the entirety of the flight, despite the cabin crew's attempts to restart the system. And I found out about 30 minutes later, once we had reached altitude, that the Wi-Fi did not work either. So I had no way to watch any of the entertainment in flight, which for me was not an issue, but there were many young children on board and others who would have liked to utilize the system during the flight. And there's really no response from the cabin crew or anything to make up for it, which is very unfortunate. In terms of the service, I got a drink and a snack pack for free, but I did have to purchase this snack box for an extra fee of about $10. There were some good snacks included in the box. It was a Mediterranean-themed snack box. Pretty enjoyable. So now we're out over the Long Island Sound, descending into New York JFK, and there had been a complete ground stop for JFK at this time, due to a rainstorm that had just passed through. And this is where the experience just took the worst turn yet. Just after we had arrived into New York, we were on a ground stop, just on a position on a taxiway for 3 hours straight. And all the flight attendants did was hand out bottles of water. They restricted us to our seats, no ability to use the bathroom or anything like that. It was, for a flight of this length, and then to arrive with zero explanation, which I found out later was because a plane had been occupying our gate. It's completely on the airline, and obviously they can't control the weather, and I understand that, but for, no explanation and to restrict people to their seats for that long, it's, at a certain point, it's not very safe, actually, to have people sort of on edge for that long of a period of time, just waiting on the taxiway. So really a shame on Delta for the way they handled this this ground delay and everything, and being stuck on the taxiway was quite shocking. Anyway, landing now into New York JFK. Welcome back to the United States of America. A beautiful sunset, which kind of made up for the whole issue. I thank you very much for watching this trip report, and I hope you'll consider subscribing. Here we are 3 hours later, still waiting on the taxiway.